Life always puts you in front of a choice: to allow others to decide how they treat you, or to be the one who sets the boundaries. Every time you remain silent in the face of disrespect, every time you smile to avoid a conflict while someone crosses the line, without realizing it, you are giving up a piece of your dignity. What you allow once, they will end up repeating always, and what you tolerate today will become your prison tomorrow. There is nothing more dangerous than getting used to mistreatment and thinking it is normal. Protecting your dignity is not an act of arrogance. It is an act of survival. There are people who live by draining the energy of others, who feed on conflict, on your weakness, on your silence. And if you don't put a stop to it, one day you will find yourself trapped in a life full of humiliations disguised as jokes, manipulations disguised as affection, and criticisms disguised as advice. That is not the destiny you deserve. You were not born to be anyone's emotional punching bag or to beg for respect where it should exist naturally. This is not about revenge or hatred. It is about emotional discipline. Stoicism teaches us that we cannot control what others do, but we can control what we allow and who we let into our space. Being stoic is not staying silent while you are trampled on. It is having the courage to say enough, even if that makes those who benefited from your silence uncomfortable. It is learning to close doors firmly and to walk away without remorse from those who do not know how to value your presence. The price of not setting boundaries is high. You lose peace, you lose self-esteem, you lose valuable time that you could dedicate to your personal growth. People who do not respect your boundaries are not going to change just because you kindly ask them to. You must be the one to mark the change. This video is not intended to sugarcoat reality or give you nice phrases to make you feel better. It aims to show you the way to regain control of your life. Surround yourself with people who boost you and, above all, teach you to never accept what robs you of dignity. Because protecting yourself is not selfishness, it is self-respect. 1. Set the boundary and make yourself respected. A person without boundaries is like a house without doors. Anyone comes in, anyone stays, anyone decides the mess. If you do not clearly draw where others' space ends and yours begins, you will become an open territory to invaders. Boundaries are not walls to isolate you. They are foundations that support your dignity and your peace. Every time you set one, you are not being aggressive or selfish. You are building the space where your value cannot be trampled on. Respect is not asked for, it is demanded with actions. Most of the time, people do not cross your line out of ignorance. They do it because you did not defend it. If you remain silent at the first mockery, you will open the door to humiliation. If you smile at the first sarcastic comment, you endorse that tomorrow will be worse. And if you justify the mistreatment to avoid discomfort, you are telling the world that your discomfort does not matter. Stoicism reminds us that no one can take away your dignity without your consent, but it is your duty not to grant it. There is an uncomfortable truth. Those who do not make themselves respected end up begging for crumbs of consideration. It is not enough to think that you have the right to peace, you have to protect it. Think of the warriors who guarded their territory. They did not do it out of hatred for foreigners, but out of love for their own. In the same way, you must take care of the emotional territory that is your mind, your time, your energy. Allowing others to invade it is not kindness, it is self-abandonment. Setting boundaries requires courage, because many people will not like your new standard. They will be uncomfortable that you are not willing to laugh at jokes that hurt, that you do not participate in conversations that degrade others, that you do not tolerate comments that you use to let pass. Some will try to manipulate you with phrases like, "You are not the same anymore," or "You became difficult." That is not an insult, it is a sign that you are doing things right. Whoever gets upset because they can no longer step on you is the one who never valued you. The respect you seek outside begins with what you tolerate from yourself. You cannot demand from others what you do not give yourself. If you ignore your own needs, allow abuses to avoid looking bad, or give in for fear of losing affection, you will be the first to betray yourself. Making yourself respected involves looking in the mirror and asking yourself if you live according to what you believe you deserve. If your answer is no, then it is time to adjust your behavior and make it clear that your peace is not negotiable. The Stoic does not wear himself out shouting to impose his value. He demonstrates it by living according to his principles. Marcus Aurelius said that the best revenge is not to resemble the one who hurts you. Setting boundaries is exactly that. Not responding to mistreatment with more mistreatment, but breaking the chain of abuse with firmness and serenity. A no said calmly but with conviction carries more weight than 1,000 shouts. Dignity is not discussed, it is practiced. The day you draw that invisible line, you will notice a change. Your environment will start treating you the way you treat yourself. Those who respect you will stay and the rest will leave. You will lose people, yes, but you will gain something much more valuable: space to grow without interference. And you will understand that setting boundaries does not make you lose relationships. It only filters out those that were never worth it. 2. Say no firmly and without remorse. The no is one of the most powerful words that exist, but also one of the most feared. Many people believe that saying no makes them cold, selfish, or difficult, when in reality, it is the key that opens the door to personal freedom. Every time you force yourself to say yes to please others, you are mortgaging your time, your energy, and above all, your self-respect. A forced yes is a silent pact with resentment. A firm no is a pact with your dignity. Saying no is not rejecting people. It is rejecting what goes against your peace, your values, or your well-being. Life is full of demands disguised as favors, manipulations disguised as affection, obligations that are not yours but that others try to impose on you. If you accept everything to avoid a conflict, you end up living the lives of others instead of your own. Stoicism teaches that you should not hand over the helm of your existence to the expectations of others. You are responsible for your time and what you allow into your life. And no, said clearly, does not need long explanations or apologies. It is brief, direct, and forceful. People who take advantage of your kindness usually look for your hesitations, your tone of doubt, your excuses. When you say no firmly without adornments, you take away their space to manipulate. If someone insists, repeat your no with the same serenity. Firmness is a language that everyone understands, even those who do not respect it at first. There will be those who try to make you feel guilty for setting boundaries, using phrases like, "I thought I could count on you," or "you disappoint me." That does not define your character, it reveals theirs. Those comments are strategies to maintain control over you. A Stoic knows that guilt only makes sense when a principle of their own is broken, not when others are displeased by defending inner peace. You should not apologize for taking care of your energy, just as you do not ask for permission to breathe. Think of your life as a garden. Not everything that grows deserves to stay. Some plants are beautiful, but steal space and nutrients from the ones that really matter. If you do not prune, your garden suffocates. The no is the necessary pruning for the valuable to have space to bloom. Your goals, your rest, your mental health, all of that needs space free of unnecessary commitments and burdens that do not belong to you. Saying no does not mean living defensively or becoming a bitter person. It means learning to choose where to put your energy, and that is one of the highest forms of self-control. Each no you pronounce is a silent declaration that you value your time more than the approval of others. People who truly respect you will not be offended by your refusal. On the contrary, they will value your honesty. A no said with serenity is more powerful than 1,000 yes pronounced with resentment. True respect is born when others see that you do not negotiate your peace to please them. At first, it will be uncomfortable because you are not used to prioritizing yourself, but with each time you dare to say no, you will discover that you do not need to justify it for it to be valid. Your dignity is not negotiable, and defending it does not require anyone's permission. The next time you hesitate between giving in or saying no, remember this: every yes you give unwillingly is a no to yourself. And there is no greater betrayal than that. Saying no firmly and without remorse not only saves time, it also builds the character of someone who knows where they are going and does not allow themselves to be diverted by the demands of others. 3. Break the tie with those who manipulate. There are invisible threads that weigh more than iron chains. They are the ties that bind you to people who know how to move your emotions as if you were a puppet. They make you feel guilty when you say no. They flatter you when they need something. They ignore you when you are of no use to them. Manipulation does not always shout or hit. It often smiles, hugs, and disguises itself as care. But deep down it seeks the same thing: to control you for its own benefit. If you don't break these threads, one day you will wake up not recognizing who you are because you will have lived under someone else's script. Manipulators do not appear with a sign that betrays them. They show themselves to be attentive, understanding, and even generous. But little by little they test your limits, discover your weaknesses, and use your empathy against you. They know when to press guilt, when to feign fragility, and when to play the victim to get what they want. The problem is not their cunning, it's your willingness to give in so as not to seem insensitive. Stoicism teaches that true self-control begins when you learn not to react to others' emotional games. Breaking the tie with manipulators is not a gesture of hate, it's an act of liberation. It means to stop dancing to the rhythm of their sweet words and veiled threats. They thrive when you depend on their approval or fear their disapproval. That's why the first strategy is to cut that emotional dependence. Do not seek their praise. Do not fear their criticism. Their power feeds on your need to be accepted. When you take away that source, their influence crumbles. At first, it will be uncomfortable because the manipulator will try to make you feel cruel or ungrateful for putting distance. They will use phrases like, "After all I've done for you," or "No one else will understand you like I do." Recognize that language. It's not love, it's control disguised as affection. A Stoic does not engage in endless discussions trying to justify their decision. They speak little, act more, limit contact, avoid explanations that only serve to open new traps, and keep calm in the face of their provocations. Think of your life as a ship sailing in turbulent waters. If you have passengers on board who drill the hull while smiling, you will never reach your destination. No matter how much they say they love you, their actions reveal that they prefer to sink you if you don't follow their whims. Breaking the tie does not mean wishing them harm. It means throwing them overboard before they destroy the entire ship. It's about saving your journey, your course, and your peace. A common mistake is to believe that with more patience, you will make them change. But manipulation is not an accidental error, it's a learned pattern. Those accustomed to control rarely give up that habit just because you beg them to. That's why your strength must be in your action, not in your hope. You don't have to hate them, but you should distance yourself from them, like someone who moves away from a flame that burns, even though it gives light. When you manage to break those ties, you will experience a strange silence, the absence of mental games, emotional blackmail, tangled excuses. That silence is not emptiness, it's space reclaimed for your inner voice. That's where true peace settles in. You'll find that your mind is no longer occupied with thinking about how to please, justify, or calm others. And that's the beginning of real freedom. Remember that manipulation only works with your participation. The day you decide to stop playing, the game ends. Breaking the tie with those who manipulate is not losing. It's reclaiming what you should never have given up: your will, your dignity, and your right to live without strings directing your every move. 4. Walk alongside those who propel you. The environment in which you walk can be the wind that pushes you forward, or the sand that sinks you with each step. Many people believe that their progress depends solely on their individual effort, but they underestimate the invisible weight of the company they choose. Walking with those who propel you is not a luxury, it's a vital necessity if you don't want to get stuck in the same place while your dreams wither due to lack of support. There are people whose presence is like a lighthouse. They don't do the work for you, but they illuminate the path. They inspire you to improve, not with empty words, but with the silent example of their discipline, their perseverance, their character. Others, on the other hand, are like a thick fog. They obscure your goals with constant complaints, with doubts disguised as advice, and with fears that they transfer to you as if they were certainties. The difference between moving forward or stagnating often lies not in your abilities, but in the type of voices you listen to daily. Stoicism teaches that the wise choose their companions as a gardener chooses seeds. You don't plant thorns expecting to harvest flowers. If you surround yourself with those who celebrate your effort and do not envy your achievements, you will grow with less weight in your heart. But if you share the path with those who see your progress as a threat, sooner or later you will have to drag them by force or stop so they don't fall behind. And neither of these scenarios is compatible with personal growth. Walking alongside those who propel you does not mean seeking flatterers. The true ally is not the one who applauds every step, but the one who firmly points out when you deviate from the course, the one who motivates you to improve even when you don't feel like it. Genuine friendships are not afraid to discomfort you with the truth, because their interest is to see you grow, not to keep you comfortable. Genuine support is not always sweet. Sometimes it hurts because it confronts you with what you evade, but that discomfort is fuel to move forward. One of the most costly mistakes is to keep in your life people who insist that you be realistic, when in reality, what they want is for you to settle for less so they don't feel surpassed. These people do not propel you, they hold you back under the excuse of protecting you. If you pay attention, you will see that every time you share an ambitious plan, they react with distrust, sarcasm, or criticism disguised as prudence. They are anchors disguised as advisors. Walking with those who propel you requires courage, because it implies letting go of the comfort of old friendships that no longer share your vision. Perhaps they are people who were with you in past stages, but who chose to stay where they were while you decided to move forward. It is not betrayal to leave behind those who refuse to move. It is loyalty to your own future. Misunderstood loyalty ties you to the past and betrays your possibilities to grow. When you manage to surround yourself with those who add, you will feel a subtle but powerful change. Conversations will become deeper, goals clearer, and falls less heavy because someone will be there to remind you that getting up is worth it. You will discover that motivation does not always come from you. Sometimes it arises from the looks that trust in your ability, even when you doubt. These allies are mirrors that reflect your potential on dark days. Walking alongside those who propel you does not guarantee a journey without obstacles, but it transforms the path. The mountains seem less high, the failures stop feeling like defeats, and the progress becomes lighter. Life is too short to walk with those who extinguish your inner fire. If you want to go further, it is not enough to look ahead. You must also look to the sides and make sure that those who walk with you are not the chains that slow your pace, but the hands that push your back when fatigue invites you to stop. 5. Close the door to those who humiliate you. Humiliation is like a silent poison. It doesn't kill immediately, but it weakens the spirit until one day you discover that you no longer have the strength to defend yourself. The most dangerous thing about those who humiliate is not the direct insult, but the constancy with which they erode your worth through comments disguised as jokes, subtle criticisms, and comparisons that seem innocent. If you don't close the door to these attitudes, you'll end up believing that you deserve less than your worth. Nobody has the right to diminish you to feel bigger. And yet many times you allow it out of habit, out of fear of conflict, or because you've learned to laugh at what hurts. But every laugh you give in response to a mockery that hurts you is a silent surrender. Stoicism teaches that dignity is non-negotiable. It's better to be alone than to share a table with those who take away your appetite to live with self-respect. Closing the door to those who humiliate doesn't always mean physically distancing yourself. Sometimes it means raising an internal barrier that doesn't allow them to enter your mind. Because the real damage is not in what they say, but in what they make you believe about yourself. Every time you accept their words as truths, you give them the power to shape your identity to their convenience. Your first act of defense is not to accept their judgments as part of your reality. Those who humiliate often use laughter as a shield. They hide behind phrases like, "It was just a joke," or "Don't be so sensitive." That's not humor, it's cowardice disguised as wit. You must learn to recognize this tactic and stop justifying it. A stop spoken with a calm but firm voice is more powerful than a discussion full of shouts. When you show that you will no longer tolerate games at your expense, you make it clear that your dignity is not for sale. Often the first humiliations come from close circles, family, friends, even partners. That's why it's hard to cut those ties, because the heart insists on believing that there's no ill intention. But intention doesn't justify the harm. If someone repeats an act that they know hurts you, it's not a mistake, it's a habit. And you have the responsibility to decide if you allow that habit to continue feeding on your silence. Stoicism doesn't teach to seek revenge or to return humiliation for humiliation. It teaches to protect the mind as the greatest treasure. Epictetus said that it's not things that disturb us, but our opinion of them. And the worst opinion you can have of yourself is born when you accept as truth the words of those who seek to belittle you. That's why closing the door is an act of psychological self-defense. You choose not to let their judgments enter your inner space. When you finally dare to close that door, something changes within you. You stop measuring your worth with the mockeries of others and start seeing it reflected in the serenity of not responding to them. You'll notice that many of these people distance themselves on their own, not because they stop wanting to humiliate you, but because they lose interest when they don't find an audience willing to endure it. What you tolerate repeats. What you don't allow disappears. Closing the door to those who humiliate you is not a gesture of empty pride. It's a silent declaration that you know your worth and won't put it in the hands of others. In life, you can't avoid some trying to belittle you, but you can always decide that their words bounce off a door you'll never open. And that door doesn't close with anger, it closes with self-love. 6. Cut off disloyalty at the root. Disloyalty is like a hidden crack in the foundation of a house. At first it seems harmless, but over time it compromises the entire structure. The same happens in human relationships. It doesn't always present itself with a spectacular betrayal. Often it hides in small gestures, a confidence shared behind your back, a broken commitment without explanation, a defense that never came when you needed it most. If you don't cut these cracks from the start, you'll end up living on ground that crumbles beneath your feet. There are those who confuse forgiving with allowing. They think that giving another chance to the disloyal is a sign of nobility, when in reality it is an invitation to repeat the damage. Stoicism teaches that the mistakes of others are not always under our control, but the decision to continue surrounded by those who fail us is. Every time you allow a disloyal person to stay close, you give them permission to continue undermining your trust. And nothing erodes mental peace more than living in anticipation of the next stab. Cutting off disloyalty at the root doesn't mean reacting with revenge or acting out of resentment. It means having the courage to recognize that broken trust is not mended with pretty words or promises of change. Trust is like glass. Once broken, it can be glued back together, but it never returns to its original state. Accepting this truth doesn't make you hard, it makes you realistic. To pretend otherwise is to choose to live with the illusion that the broken pieces will support the weight of the future. The disloyal rarely act without prior signs. Before the big betrayal, there are usually small gestures that you ignored. Vague excuses, absences when you counted on them the most, criticisms disguised as advice, changing loyalties according to convenience. These are the first cracks that you chose not to see because believing hurt less than facing the truth. The lesson is clear. Small acts announce big disasters, and silence before them is the best ally of disloyalty. A naive heart insists on believing that it can change the one who failed it. But disloyalty is not an accident, it's a character trait. Whoever betrays once for personal interest usually does it again when the benefit outweighs the risk. The Stoic doesn't waste energy trying to reform others. They use it to protect their serenity. Cutting off at the root is not cruelty. It's emotional self-defense and a clear message. The respect you offer is not an infinite resource for those who squander it. There will be those who call you harsh or exaggerated for distancing yourself from someone you considered close. Don't let these opinions confuse you. Being understanding doesn't mean being naive. True compassion also knows how to say enough when the damage is evident. Sometimes, keeping a disloyal person close not only hurts you, but weakens your ability to trust others who do deserve it. The price of supporting someone like this is too high. Your peace, your dignity, and your faith in healthy relationships. Think of your life as a garden where sick roots contaminate the healthy ones. If you don't pull them out in time, the rot spreads and ruins what was still blooming. Cut off at the root those who break loyalty, and you'll see how the rest of your environment regains strength. It's not about wishing them harm, but preventing them from continuing to drain your energy and contaminate your relationships. When you make the decision to cut off, do it without unnecessary noise. Don't over-explain or seek to justify your choice to those who didn't value your trust. Disloyalty doesn't deserve speeches, it deserves distance. Over time, you'll understand that you didn't lose someone valuable. You just freed yourself from someone who didn't know how to hold your trust. And that liberation is one of the greatest forms of self-respect. 7. Be immune to the poison of negativity. Negativity is like the toxic smoke of a fire. You don't always see it in time, but it ends up suffocating you if you stay too close. There are people who seem to live surrounded by that smoke, releasing complaints as if they were ash in the air, pointing out problems in everything others try to build. If you don't learn to be immune, that poison seeps into your mind, clouds your judgment, and makes you believe that the world is as gray as they paint it. The danger of negativity is that it rarely comes with shouts or frontal attacks. It presents itself in everyday phrases. It's not worth trying. You're sure to fail. I wouldn't take the risk if I were you. Words that seem like advice, but are actually seeds of doubt. If you let them grow, you will soon believe that your goals are impossible, that the effort is not worth it, and that it is better to settle for what you already have, even if it does not make you happy. Stoicism teaches that we cannot control others' opinions, but we can control what we let into our thinking. Being immune does not mean becoming cold or indifferent. It means choosing not to poison your mind with the pessimism that others insist on giving you. It's about putting a filter between their words and your peace, so that only what is useful passes through and the rest stays out. The mind needs hygiene just like the body. You wouldn't drink contaminated water, so don't drink words contaminated with despair. Often negativity comes from close people, family, friends, work colleagues. That's why it can be so damaging, because it comes from voices you thought were protective. But affection does not justify destructive influence. You can love someone and at the same time distance yourself from their toxic ideas. You don't have to hate them or argue every comment. It's enough to stop giving them the power to define your worldview. Being immune to the poison of negativity also requires monitoring your own thoughts. Sometimes the worst enemy is within, that inner voice that repeats what others said and starts to sound convincing when you're tired or discouraged. Stoic practice suggests examining each idea that crosses your mind and asking yourself, is it true? Does it help me to act better? Or does it just steal my energy? This habit transforms the mind into a clearer and stronger space. When you decide not to absorb that poison, Something changes in your attitude. You stop wasting time trying to convince pessimists and start investing that energy in moving forward. Defeatist comments stop sounding like absolute truths and become background noise. You discover that negative people feed not on reality, but on the reactions they provoke. If you don't give them that reaction, they lose control over you. Being immune to negativity is not about building a wall of indifference. It's about constructing a shield of serenity. The world will continue to have people who see storms in every cloud, but they will no longer be able to drag you with them. You will maintain your steady course, breathing clean air, even though others try to fill the environment with smoke. That is freedom, not letting others' dark vision decide the color of your life. 8. Protect your peace from what drains your energy. Inner peace is like a soft fire that keeps your life warm. It doesn't make noise, but it supports you on cold days. However, that fire can slowly go out when you allow people, habits, or environments to consume it without you realizing it. Every unnecessary argument, every commitment you accept out of obligation, every worry that doesn't concern you is firewood that is lost without producing heat. If you don't learn to protect your peace, you will live exhausted, even on days when you haven't done anything physical. The problem is not always in the big conflicts. Often, it's the small daily wear and tear that drains your energy the most. The call from someone who just wants to complain, the messages that interrupt your rest, the expectations of others that you carry on your shoulders. The worst part is that you end up believing that this feeling of tiredness is normal, when in reality, it is the result of giving your energy to everything that doesn't deserve to receive it. Stoicism teaches that you don't control external events, but you do decide what you let affect your internal state. Protecting your peace is not isolating yourself from the world, but choosing which battles are worth your attention and which ones are just trying to provoke you. Sometimes true courage is not in fighting, but in retreating in time to avoid wearing yourself out over what will not change. This retreat is not weakness, it's wisdom. There are people who seem to bring storms wherever they go. Their drama is not your responsibility, even if they try to make you feel guilty for not getting involved. Every time you fall into that game, you lose energy that you could invest in your well-being or your goals. Setting clear boundaries is not being cold, it's being fair to yourself. Peace is a finite resource. If you don't take care of it, others will consume it until it leaves you empty. When you start to protect your peace, you'll notice that some people distance themselves on their own. Not because you reject them, but because they no longer find in you the source of attention that fed their chaos. This is not a loss, it's a relief. You'll discover that serenity does not depend on eliminating all external problems, but on stopping giving them the power to alter your calm. Protecting your peace from what drains your energy is not a selfish act. It's the greatest gift you can give yourself. It's learning to take care of that internal fire so that it never goes out, no matter how strong the wind of chaos blows around you. Thank you for staying until the end of the video. If you watched the whole thing, comment "I am Stoic" as our secret signal to know that you're a true student of Stoicism. Don't forget to subscribe and give the video a like if you enjoyed it. See you in the next video, and remember, keep cultivating your Stoic mind.